Good morning, everyone. We are broadcasting here from Harmarville Alpha Ice Complex in the Thanksgiving tournament. Girls looking to win their first game. And it's an early 7 a.m. morning. Welcome to our 5 viewers. Girls now ready to start playing. Out on the ice, the first line, we have Mertens, Tarasovic, Webster. On D, we have Hott and Herbert. And we are playing SCIR. Oh, Silver City. No, Steel City. Puck is dropped. Girls get control right away into the end. Hott tries to chip it over towards Webster. That gets intercepted by Steel City. Steel City starts advancing in. And they get a shot towards net. Claycomb with the save. Herbert picks that up from the side. Gets that over towards Mertens. Mertens trying to chip that up to Tarasovic. Tarasovic up the boards out into the neutral zone. Steel City regrouping, going back in. And they go wide. And in goes Herbert from back. Gets it out front to Tarasovic to Webster. Webster starts taking that up the ice, chips that in, and she goes for the change. In goes D'Ambrosio on the rush, and puck comes out to Longwell. Longwell trying to set up play, gets that over to Lundy. Lundy over towards Pilarski, and Pilarski driving that in. Pilarski over towards Lundy. Lundy with a shot right off the post, and early shot. Steel City starting to advance out up the ice. Longwell stops that advance. And Relier chipping that out into the neutral zone, but Steel City does start taking that in. Shot from the point. That goes wide. Girls trying to pressure. Nice pressure there from Pilarski, and Pilarski breaks out right away. She's up with Lundy, and Pilarski over to Lundy. Lundy with a shot, and that goes wide. Pilarski picks that up, shot towards the net, and 12:54 in the first. Some early excitement. Murdoch out to Howe almost with a shot off there, and Steel City breaks that out now. Steel City breaks that into the zone. They break that wide, and Claycomb with the save. They tried to walk across the top of the house, and Claycomb was able to stop that advance. Now picked up by Murdoch. Murdoch up to Wasson. Wasson driving that up the ice. She chips that up the boards, and girls go for defense line goes for the change. In goes Howe to check, and Steel City advances out up the ice. Steel City takes that to the top of the house. Shot goes wide behind to the side of the crease. Now Webster picks that up. Webster driving that up the ice. Webster headbands that towards Gray. Gray with a shot, and that gets stopped by the defense. Goes back to Herbert. Herbert with a shot. Goes wide. And in goes Mertens. Mertens working hard, gets control of that puck, gets it back out to Webster. Webster chips it back behind the net. In goes Gray. Gray battling. Gray knocked down. In goes Mertens. Mertens battling, and Steel City does get that out, and Steel City starts advancing up the other way. Steel City chips that back in. Picked up now by Longwell. Puck does sneak out to the front, and they do get a shot, but big save by Claycomb. $11:13 left in the first period. 0-0 hockey game. And we got facing off is D'Ambrosio. D'Ambrosio gets it over towards Pilarski. Pilarski driving that up the ice. Pilarski cuts back. And Steel City breaks in. Steel City shot. Claycomb save, rebound. And a lot of excitement there in front of the net, but Claycomb with the save. 10:57 left in the first. Facing off is D'Ambrosio. D'Ambrosio gets it to the side. And Steel City with a shot, and they go top corner of the net. Quite a laser shot. That opens the scoring for Steel City, 1-0. Steel City's really good at pulling out from behind the net and getting it to their players in front. So that's something the girls will have to watch for. Murdoch gets it back towards Herbert. Herbert having pressure. She takes around the net. Gets it up towards Howe. Howe pressuring the D, and that sneaks out and results in an offside. Murdoch facing off. Got Tarasovic and Herbert on D. Murdoch back to Herbert, and Herbert chips it up the ice. And that is offside. 10:28 left in the first. Steel City gets that back out. Steel City driving that up the ice, and they shoot, and Claycomb with the save catches that beneath her pads. Facing off, Mertens. Mertens gets it over to Longwell. Longwell back up to Mertens. Mertens starts breaking that out. Gets that over towards Gray. And Steel City picks that up right away with some great speed and goes in. Shot. And another right to the top of the net. And that makes it 2-0. Steel City has some great speed and some great laser shots. Steel City cycling that around. They miss pass, and the puck goes into the Steel City zone. Longwell keeps the puck in. Longwell over to the front. Tried to get over the Webster, and Steel City defensemen intercepted that. They start taking that back up the ice, and Gray intercepts that. Goes back over. Steel City breaking that in again. Nice stick check by Longwell. Longwell chips it up the boards, and Steel City gets it again. Longwell goes in there trying to get the puck off the Steel City player. Steel City chips it out front, but Webster gets it up to Gray. And Gray chips that in, but Steel City gets control of that, and they start taking that back the other way. Steel City over to the front, and almost a shot off there. And here comes Tarasovic bringing that back up the ice. And some battling in the side there. Pilarski goes in, helping out Lundy. And then now goes in Relier, keeps the puck in. Steel City trying to break that out. Sends it around the boards the other way. And Pilarski, patient at the line there, gets it over to Lundy. Lundy chips that in. Steel City finally breaks that in. This is going to be an icing call at 7:54 left in the first period. Facing off is Murdoch. Murdoch gets that back to Herbert. Tarasovic picks that up right away, starts going back up, chips it up towards Howe. Howe taking that in. Howe, shot towards the net. Pad save. Herbert blocking that shot. Herbert chips that out. And that ensures everybody has to come back out. Howe breaking that in. Howe driving that up and backhand towards the net. And battling Wasson, chasing the Steel City as they try to break out. And Steel City does get it up the ice. Tarasovic picks it up now. Tarasovic now picked up by Wasson. Wasson trying to drive that over. Steel City driving that up the ice. Nice block there by Mertens. And now Gray battling with Mertens. Steel City breaks that up the ice. Mertens has it from the side. Mertens tries to get up the boards. There's Mertens. Steel City turns it back over the other way. Nice back check there by Webster. And allows Longwell back over to Webster. Longwell trying to pick that back up. A shot to the net, and that's that upstairs shot again. So that's 3-0. Puck is dropped. Steel City takes that back up the other way. Steel City driving that in, and they cut back around. Now picked up by Pilarski. Pilarski driving that up the ice. Pilarski with Lundy. Gets it over to Lundy. Lundy picks that up. Steel City blocks that. Relier tries to keep that in, and Steel City starts turning that back the other way. Steel City. And Clegg-Holmes stops that. 5:14 left in the first. 3-0 Steel City. Relier chips that up the boards towards Pilarski, and they're battling with the Steel City team. Pilarski. Pilarski battling at the side there. And Steel City keeps that in. They send that around behind the net. Relier goes in, picks that up. Relier chips that up the boards. And in goes Murdoch. Murdoch trying to drive that up the boards. And they get a Steel City does get a shot off, but Wasson chips that out. And Steel City breaking that up the ice. Pressure from Howe. Howe starts driving that in. And Howe knocked down, but then Steel City gets that back. But that was good transition of play. And Suisham chips that up the boards. Steel City dumps that in. And Steel City goes for the change. Allows the girls to get some regrouping. That fast Steel City player comes in and pass. And that results in 4-0. So 3:34 left in the first. Steel City takes that right in off the face-off. Webster now picks that up. Webster driving that up the ice. Webster stopping the advance. In goes Gray to help out. Gray driving that up the ice. Steel City gets that over. Claycomb with a nice save. And headman to Webster. Webster driving up with Gray. Webster shot towards the net. That gets deflected wide by the Steel City player. Steel City trying to break that out. And Steel City starts taking that up. They dump it and go for a change. And Hot up towards D'Ambrosio. And D'Ambrosio driving up the ice. D'Ambrosio shot towards the net. Lundy looking to get that back towards Hot. And Steel City now breaks that out. They start advancing down on Hot. And Longwell. Nice back check by Pilarski. And now comes Longwell. Longwell trying to chip that up the boards. Steel City keeps that in. Longwell, though, does break it out. And Steel City trying to get that in with a long pass. Pilarski intercepts that. And Pilarski chips that in. The girls go for a change. Steel City now starts coming up with great speed. Herbert goes in. Nice stick check by Herbert. And back up towards Howe. Howe driving that up the ice. Howe driving that in. Steel City advancing in. Howe's shot goes wide. And in turns round Murdoch. Murdoch skating in really quickly. Murdoch over to Wasson. Wasson lifting up the stick, trying to get a shot off. And now Steel City drives in. Murdoch chips it up the boards towards Howe, and Steel City gets it. Now Murdoch trying to break that out. Murdoch. Two Steel Cities players battling her. Nice stop by Relier in front of the net. Relier now trying to break that out of the zone. Gets that up towards Wasan. Wasan finally gets that out into the neutral zone. Steel City, though, regrouping, and they start driving back in. Chase there by Howe. And there's Howe trying to drive that up the ice. And over towards Webster. And that ends the first period. So 4-0 Steel City. It's a really good team. They have some really good shots. One or two guys that can skate really super fast. Okay, we're at the start of the second. 15 minutes. Girls looking to get something on the scoreboard here. Facing off is Mertens, Webster, and Gray. Gray battling. Gray trying to get that over to Webster. Webster does keep that puck in the zone. Steel City trying to break that out. Gray trying to keep that in. Steel City does break that out, and they start breaking up the ice. Suisham over to Tarasovic, and Tarasovic up towards Mertens. Over to Webster. Webster with a shot, pad save, rebound, and Gray almost there to get a second shot. Gray chips that up now. Gray driving in. And now Steel City starts going back the other way. And Claycomb with a nice save. Gets it to the outside. In goes Tarasovic. Tarasovic sends it around the boards. Steel City picks that up. Webster blocked from reaching the player. Rebound, and Claycomb pounces on that right away. And girls go for a change. Facing off is D'Ambrosio. It's Longwell now bringing that up, trying to headman that towards Pilarski. Pilarski driving that up the ice into the zone. Steel City does get that back out into the neutral zone. D'Ambrosio gets that up towards Longwell, and Longwell over to Pilarski. Pilarski D'Ambrosio cuts back around, and she tries to get that up. No. Steel City breaks that in. Now Pilarski. Pilarski trying to get that up towards D'Ambrosio, and Steel City turns that around and shoots, rebound, and scores off the rebound. So making that a 5-0 hockey game. I think at this point it goes running time. with a 5-goal differential, but not positive. Facing off is Murdoch. Murdoch face off. Wasson goes up right away, drives the puck into the zone. Now picked up by Howe. Howe driving that up the ice. And Steel City back with some speed like we've seen earlier in the game. And they start driving around. Shot. Claycomb with a nice save. Patiently follows that puck in. Great job. And now the girls, Hervert battling at the side here, trying to get the puck out. Howe goes in. Howe taking that up the boards. And she tries to chip that up the boards. And Steel City does turn that around. And now picked up by Wasson. Wasson battling with the Steel City player at the side. Wasson now trying to backhand that out towards Murdoch. That's intercepted by Steel City. And now Steel City drives that back in. Steel City shot, passed, and that's off the post. And close call. Another shot. Stick save by Claycomb. Now Howe picks it up. Howe trying to drive that out of the zone. That gets stopped by the D. Whoa. The Steel City defense falls down, but does keep the puck in. Steel City again with a shot that's deflected off shin pads of Hott. And Steel City back to the point. Steel City shot towards the net. And that finds a path all the way through. About 5 different players and then into the back of the net. So that's 6-0 game. Mertens facing off. Mertens gets it ahead towards Webster. Webster sends it into the zone and now chased in by Gray. Steel City gets it back around. And now Mertens with a big shot. Laser of a shot. Blocker saved by the goalie. Mertens battling at the side here. The girls keep it up at the side here. Now Webster picks it up, chips it up the boards towards Mertens. Mertens driving that in, tries to headman that towards Gray. And now Steel City gets it, takes it back the other way. Steel City driving that in. And they try to get that back to their defense. And defense chips that in. And now that was Suisham that chips that out into the zone. Steel City regroups. They start taking back the other way. D'Ambrosio trying to pressure. D'Ambrosio picking that up. D'Ambrosio taking that wide. Passes that over towards Pilarski. Pilarski keeps that puck in at the blue line. Gets it over towards Lundy. And D'Ambrosio trying to keep that puck going. And Suisham now goes and picks that up. Suisham. Now goes Lundy. Lundy. No, Steel City battling and able to get control of that puck and start taking that back the other way. Nice stick check by Longwell. Longwell tries to get the puck out, but Steel City lifted her stick and got pressure towards the net. Longwell battling at the boards, but Steel City does get a shot off. D'Ambrosio now. D'Ambrosio trying to drive that up the ice. D'Ambrosio has some room. Lundy helping her out. D'Ambrosio taking that in, but Steel City Longwell trying to chip that out of the zone. Steel City keeps that in. Howe picks that up. Howe does get that out of the zone. Sends that down the ice. And now pressure from Howe and Wasson on the D. And Steel City starts taking that back the other way. Now Longwell chips that up towards Wasson. Wasson driving that in. Now supported from Howe and Murdoch. And puck goes around the boards. Relier chips in. Shot towards the net. And that's picked up by the Steel City defense. Longwell keeps that in at the boards. Now Steel City finally does get that in, and they start taking that back down the other way. House holds the puck at the blue line. Steel City can't get that in. That opens up for Murdoch. Murdoch driving that down the ice, and Steel City turns that around again. Howe blocking that back at the blue line and back towards Murdoch. Murdoch hauled down, and there's going to be a penalty on that call. This is going to be the first power play for the girls in the game at 7:26 left in the second. 6-0 Steel City. Facing off is Mertens. Mertens over to Webster. Webster driving that up the ice. Webster shot towards the net. That's stopped by the goalie. Goalie not taking any chances. 7:18 left in the second. 1:52 left in this power play. Girls looking to set up some passing plays here. Mertens facing off. Mertens gets it over towards, off the post. That was Mertens to Gray, and Gray shot off the post. Now, Steel City starts taking that back through the neutral. That's held up. Nice hold up by Tarasovic. And Steel City trying to still break that in. And shot towards the net. That goes high and above. And now up towards Gray. Gray trying to get that over towards Webster. That's stopped by the Steel City D. Webster now comes back, backtracks, picks that puck up. They start taking that back in. Lots of pressure in front of the net there. 6:34 left in the second. 1:08 left in the power play. Penguins get some new legs out there. Steel City scores, making that 7-0. So what happened there was the player did a fake, causing Claycomb to slide over, but he had released the puck earlier, and it just slid right into the back of the net. So 7-0 game. Puck is dropped, and now goes up Pilarski. Pilarski, girls still trying to capitalize on this power play. Steel City now taking that back the other way. And now chased by Suisham. Suisham with a nice stick lift there. And she stops that advance. Nice chip up the boards by Suisham. Suisham out trying to get that up to D'Ambrosio. And Steel City now takes that back. And they toe drag by Steel City. He takes that around behind the net. Takes a look, sends that back to the D. And that gets intercepted by Gray, or D'Ambrosio. D'Ambrosio driving that up and shot, rebound. And it was our best chance yet on that breakaway. Nice stop by Hott. Hott chipping that around the boards. Wasan pressuring the Steel City player. Howe comes in. Howe trying to get that puck up towards Wasan, and Steel City keeps that in. Hott now battling in the side with help from Murdoch. Murdoch trying to pick that puck up from the side, and Steel City pulls it out from the side. They send it back to their D and shot. That's caught in the shin pads of Relier, and another shot, and Wasan gets the puck. Wasan starts driving that up the ice, and Wasan tips that in and goes for the change. Howe goes into pressure. And Steel City starts driving back up the other way. Steel City back pass, shot towards Claycomb. Claycomb with the big save, and some battling in behind the net. Now goes up Relier. Relier chips that up towards Webster. Webster headmans out towards Mertens, and that gets stopped by the Steel City defense. Steel City now sends that in. They shoot, tried to shoot for that top corner, and that goes out of hit the netting, and now the puck will be dropped just outside, I believe. They're going to drop that at center for going out. .327 left in the second. It's probably about 7-0. Steel City. Backhand by Longwell, gets it up towards Webster. Herbert trying to chip that back up. Herbert over towards there. Now Steel City starts taking that back the other way. Steel City driving that in. And nice defense work by Herbert. And she keeps the puck from coming in further. Gray trying to intercept that D-to-D pass. And nice pressure there by Gray and Webster. Mertens now picks that up. Mertens cuts back, opens herself up some space, gets it over towards Webster. Webster chipping it ahead. Now Webster on a breakaway. Webster. Shot. And just about another good opportunity. Steel City now starts taking that back the other way. Steel City. Nice pressure there from Longwell, and Longwell ties him up. Puck loose on top of the house, and Steel City player almost gets it, but nice play by Herbert stops that shot. D'Ambrosio battling in the corner here. D'Ambrosio trying to get that around. And now Pilarski. Pilarski back to D'Ambrosio. And now picked up by D'Ambrosio. D'Ambrosio driving that up with Pilarski and Lundy. And Lundy almost a shot off. And Steel City trying to break that in. Pass to pass and pass. And now Murdoch trying to bring that up the ice. Tarasovic sends that around the boards. Nice work by Herbert. Howe goes in there to help. Now Tarasovic battling with the player behind the net. Wasan goes in to help. Wasan battling at the side. Steel City does get it back to their D. D to D pass. And shot towards the net. That goes wide. Picked up now by Herbert. Herbert sending that up the boards towards Murdoch. Murdoch chips that out of the zone. Pressure now from Howe. And that's offside. 29 seconds left in the second period. 7-0 Steel City. Facing off is Mertens. Mertens chips it up ahead. In chases Webster. Webster, another breakaway. And her stick is lifted. She's unable to get that puck off. And now Steel City driving that back up the other way. 14 seconds left in this period. Nice back check there by Tarasovic. Tarasovic driving that back in. Tarasovic back over towards Mertens. Mertens with a shot pad save. And great action right in the last 29 seconds of the second period. Coach probably saying, do a nice, keep up the offensive work because that pressure really seems to help. Final cheer before going on to the third period, and we're just about to start here. D'Ambrosio chips that ahead into the zone. Steel City gets that around the boards. In goes Hot to try and keep the puck in. She does keep the puck in, shot towards the net. That's stopped by the Steel City defense. And Steel City starts driving that back up the ice. Steel City does break in. They take that wide. And in goes D'Ambrosio to defend with Relier. And up comes Pilarski now. Breaks it out of the zone. Up to D'Ambrosio. And D'Ambrosio driving that in. And that goes around the boards. In goes Lundy. Pressures behind the net. And Hot pinches up to try and stop the puck advance. And Steel City sends that out of the zone. Chased by Relier. Relier takes that behind the net. And she starts driving that up the ice. Chips that up into the neutral zone. Chased by Wasan. Wasan battling here. And Steel City turns that around. In goes Murdoch. Murdoch driving that up. Chips that up towards Wasan. And that's going to be an icing call. 13:40 left in the third. It's running time now. And usually when there's a 5-goal differential, they do running time to save the to keep all the games on schedule. Murdoch facing off. Murdoch gets that over to the side. Steel City keeps that puck in. Longwell picks that up behind the net. Longwell sends it around the boards to Murdoch. Murdoch. Gets that over towards Longwell. Longwell now driving that up into the neutral zone. Over towards Murdoch. Murdoch with a stick lift. And Steel City. Trying to pass that D-to-D. Murdoch with the interception and unable to get a shot off there. And in goes Webster. Webster driving that up. And Steel City trying to break that out now. Steel City driving that up the ice. And he gets stopped by Webster. Webster headmans that towards Mertens. Mertens now driving up with Gray. Mertens sends that in, and they chase that now. Steel City chipping that up the board. Suisham holding the blue line, but Steel City does break out, and they start driving towards the net. Shot, that goes up, and a big save by Claycomb. That goes up and over behind the net. Mertens goes in there. A lot of pressure on Mertens. Mertens sends that towards Webster. And Webster now picks that up. Trying to chip that up off the glass. Does get that out. Gray now driving that up the ice. Steel City turns that puck around. And, it's going to be a too many men call here. Oh, no, it's going to be hooking on Gray. And now the girls go on a penalty kill. 11:07 left in the third. Clock does get stopped for penalties, injuries, goals, and shootout shots or something like that. Spells pigs. That's what I remember when I had to do the clock. Girls doing a good job of defending, not allowing the Steel City in. Suisham picks that up. Suisham trying to headman that towards Gray, to D'Ambrosio, and does get that out of the zone. Steel City regrouping, and Steel City D-to-D pass, and they start driving that up the ice. Steel City. Shot. Nice save by Claycomb, and nice chip up the boards. .10 left in the game. Steel City advancing that out. Chased now by Wasson. Wasson. Good back check by Wasson. Gets that up towards Pilarski. Pilarski towards Hott, and they get that out of the zone. Steel City driving that back in. Steel City. Almost a toe drag there. Backhand towards the net. And 36 seconds left in this penalty kill. Steel City gets that back to the point. Shot from the point. That gets caught in the feet and deflected wide. Back to the point. D-to-D pass. And that just sneaks out. .26 left in the third period. Murdoch and Howe out on forward line. Longwell and Hervard on D. Steel City breaking that in. They start driving that in towards That's Steel City moving the puck around. And Herbert working hard to get that out. Herbert does get that out. We're back at even strength. And out is Gray. And up comes Longwell. Longwell headmans out to Gray. Gray driving up the ice. And Steel City gets a shot off Claycomb. Claycomb with the save. And now Howe trying to get that out. She does get that out. And that's a offside. Or no, there's going to be a hooking penalty. And the girls will now go on a power play. Steel City taking that back up the other way. 8:27 left in this game. And Steel City driving that up. Stick check from Tarasovic. Tarasovic doing a great job keeping the Steel City player to the outside. And in goes Suisham to pick that up. Suisham backhand up towards Gray. Gray headman's out towards Mertens. And Webster goes in to chase it. And that's going to be an icing call. Puck will be brought back all the way down. 8 minutes left in the game. Face off. Webster. Girls trying to set something up on this power play. Picked up by Tarasovic. Tarasovic sends it around the boards. Suisham goes in there right away. Suisham trying to pick that up. Suisham chips that up the boards. That goes to D'Ambrosio. Oh, no, that was Gray. And Gray sends it out into the neutral zone. Steel City trying to get that back going the other way. That's picked up now by Webster. And Webster now picks that up, takes that behind the net. Chips that up off the glass. And D'Ambrosio going up with Lundy. D'Ambrosio, shot! And there. And the girls score their first opening goal. So that started with Webster. She took it behind the net, chipped up off the glass, got up towards D'Ambrosio, and D'Ambrosio and Lundy in on the goalie, and D'Ambrosio with the nice shot. 7 minutes left. 7-1. Steel City trying to break that out into the neutral zone. They start going back the other way. Now picked up by Lundy. Lundy rubbed out on against the boards. And Hott sends it out into the neutral zone. Hott starts taking that up. And Steel City trying to drive back the other way. That's stopped by Murdoch. Murdoch now driving up with Howe. And Murdoch takes that wide. Now has Wasson. Howe. And she shoots. That goes wide. Howe picks it up on the other side. Howe trying to battle on the side there. And Steel City gets that, starts taking that back up the ice. Wasson now goes in. Now comes Murdoch trying to drive that up the, open ice hit on Relier, and I see the ref's hand up, so there's going to be a penalty called on that. And at 5:11 left in the third. Relier is okay, though. She skated towards the bench. .5:11 left in the third. We got Gray, Mertens, and Gray, Mertens, and Suisham on the forward line. And then on D, we got Longwell, and it looks like they're going to do a 2 and 10. Gray driving that up. Back to Mertens. Mertens trying to get a shot off. Longwell chips that up, sends that up the other way. And Steel City comes up. Steel City driving that up the ice. And they're knocked down. And now that's going to be a tripping call on Penguins, and that's going to be a 4-on-4 for a little while. In goes D'Ambrosio to go get the puck. And now gets that over to Tarasovic. Tarasovic stick checks, blocking that from coming in. Steel City does send that into the zone. 4 minutes left. And D'Ambrosio gets it up into the neutral zone. This is 4-on-4 hockey because both teams have people in the box. And in about 41 seconds, there'll be a 40-second power play by the Steel City. Lundy picks that up. Lundy driving that up the ice, and Lundy up to D'Ambrosio, and Pilarski goes in there now. Steel City driving that up. They're going to now, in about 5 seconds, have one extra attacker. Pilarski. Now they have, we got a 36-second power or penalty kill. Steel City with a shot. Goes up and over the net. And they get that in. And that makes it 8-1. Oh, they're going to call that. I think they're going to call that a high stick. So I'm going to send that down the other way. No score on that. So we still have 23 seconds left on the penalty kill. Facing off is Murdoch. Murdoch driving in. And Howe with a nice stick check. Murdoch comes back, ties up the Steel City player. 10 seconds left in this penalty. There goes Howe, driving that up the ice. Howe battling, Murdoch coming in to help. And Steel City breaks it back the other way. We're now back at even strength. And Steel City trying to shoot towards the net. Shot again. Now chip up. Now headman up towards Howe. Howe skating in. And no icing on that. 2:04 left in the third. And Howe battling behind the net. And Steel City picks it up. Now there's Mertens. Mertens battling at the side here. Steel City does get it out. Steel City advancing back the other way. And now the girls trying to get it back out into the zone. That's Suisham. Suisham driving that up the ice, putting pressure on with Gray. And puck comes over to the side here. Comes back out. Now, Gray stick handling that in. Shot towards the net. That gets deflected wide. And puck comes around the other side. Webster keeping that in a point. And Hervert now putting pressure on. For last minute of the game. And now D'Ambrosio breaking out with Suisham. Suisham tied up on the side there. No, that was Lundy. Tied up on the side. And Lundy hurt a little bit. She's going to the bench. And I think her mask chipped up on that hit on the side. 13 seconds left in the period. And offside. And they're going to let the time run out here. That's going to be the end of the game. Well, tough game for the girls, but they learned a lot in this game, and always good to have great competition. So thank you, Steel City. And as usual in COVID times, there's no handshake. It is a stick tapping at the blue line. Great. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.